Yeah, yeah, I'm right back at you like I never left, and I'm gonna go this hard to my last breath. It's a little Kenny Russell, Canoom, Consul Moon. You already know what you're gonna get when you step in the room. You're now dealing with Canoom. Yeah, yeah, I'm here. And while I'm here, I'm gonna make the information direct and clear. A lot of y'all can't hear. Yeah, yeah. Now, welcome back to Make My Ancestors Great Again. This is another episode of My Thoughts. This is My Thoughts 132. And this is My Thoughts Thursday. And what I'm gonna do on Thursdays from here on out is let the ancestors speak. So you can see kind of where I picked up a lot of my bad habits from. Okay. A lot of these personalities shaped what you see before you. That's why a lot of times my revolutionary spirit wants to say a lot of things that I can't say on YouTube. Okay. So um, I try to lighten it up, if you will. I always want to say something um, point blank and period, excuse me, and no nonsensical. But a lot of times I have to keep it enlightened. Say, as a African, I wish this brother well and things of that nature. But truth is, if you're not trying to put forth African people to the forefront of whatever you got going, if you don't see a future where African people is at the epicenter of the world like it once was before, then me and you cannot be aligned. Okay. So I'm going to present to you today John Henrik Clarke, um, master teacher, master teacher. And this is called The Ancestors Speak. I've always wanted to do something like this, but I'm going to just do it on My Thoughts on Thursdays. Okay. So John Henry Clarke came out of that Harlem Renaissance period when everybody used to go to the Arthur Schomburg Institution. It was a library initially. Now it's the Arthur Schomburg Institution, I believe. I've never been in Harlem. I'm from South Central Los Angeles, California. But these brothers, I got a hold to them maybe 10 to 13 years ago. I didn't get directly into the teachings. I just drowned myself with all the lectures, and I stored away a lot of the knowledge inside of my mind. Okay. So I said, what can I do? I got to begin to do something to utilize this knowledge and spread it to my Africans here in America. And that's what I started doing a couple of years ago. But I did it sporadically. I didn't have no continuance of doing it like I do now. I've been doing this, I think, the reemergence of myself for about 7 or 8 months. When I started My Thoughts, you can go back and look. This is the first time I had a consistent basis to where I go live on YouTube. My entire YouTube life. I think my YouTube is very old, but I started putting videos out, I think, about 5 years ago, roughly 5 years ago. And I did it sporadically. I would stop, I would do it, I would stop. I had the passion, but I didn't have the consistency. Now I have the consistency, and the passion was always there. So this is one of the gentlemen, like I say, from the Harlem Renaissance era, where they would go sit around Arthur Schomburg. They had another gentleman who they would call the Black Socrates. That's Hubert Harrison, Hubert H. Harrison. You can look him up. John G. Jackson is another ancestor dear to my heart. Dr. Yosef Ben Yakinen, Dr. Ben, affectionately known as Dr. Ben. And to this brother's colleagues and the brother that he fought and walked the line with, he's known as Bubba Clarke, Little Bubba Clarke. Okay, that's what Dr. Ben and all the guys used to call him because I heard him say that in several lectures. So I didn't know Dr. Clarke personally, but he was like a grandfather to me. All the gentlemen that I'm talking about is near and dear to my heart. That's what derives the name of the channel. Make My Ancestors Great Again. I'm literally taking their message and I'm giving it from my point of view, my perspective, and the things that I've known and added on top of what they already given me, and did my own research. And I present to you myself today. But now we're going to see, like I say, where I get a lot of these bad habits from. May all of them rest, and may their spirit continue to be lifted to the ancestors. So let's look at Dr. John Henry Clarke. And again, um, this is from Transatlantic Production, That was another ancestor, I believe, that owned and did all this cataloging was Clemson Brown. I believe he was a reverend, or if not, he passed away, I think, a year ago or 2 years ago. His name is Clemson Brown. May he rest too, and his spirit continue to be lifted to the ancestors. I don't own the video. This is from Transatlantic Production. You can go follow that video. They have great videos from all of the ancestors. He's compiled literally hundreds, maybe thousands on thousands of man hours of nothing but lectures for the African people here in America and abroad. So um, I take my hat off to this gentleman and let's hear him speak. And I'm going to just give my spiel on what he was talking about and how I can elaborate on it today and the way I feel today about it. So I present to you Dr. Clarke. A lot of you know him, and if you don't, a lot of you are going to know him now.
Now, what Kings was saying, he had a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, he'll see a black kid and a white kid side by side. In other words, I hope one day that you will accept us. We have to stop crying for other people's acceptance. And once we accept ourselves and build ourselves and strengthen ourselves, the question is not whether they will accept us, but whether we will accept them and on what terms.
Again, that's Dr. Clarke. Love him dearly. He was like a grandfather to me. And in a spiritual sense, he was like a father to me. You know what I mean? Um, a grandfather in the physical, but in the spiritual world, the way he came to me is of a father nature. Um, Dr. Clarke is something immeasurable. The loss we suffered when he died in 1998, I believe. Um, Dr. Clarke had began going blind, but he would still give his lectures with much passion. And he delivered and gave his whole life to the study of finding African people because his teachers, he's from the South, and they told him that he didn't have no history. So he began to find African people everywhere. He authored roughly 11 to, I believe, 15 books. Um, it just was great, a library of sorts, a walking library, you see. And a lot of people take that for granted, but I don't. Okay. He will forever live on through me. As long as I live, he lives. What Dr. Clarke was speaking about there was Martin Luther King. And he said what King was doing was just begging for acceptance, if you will. See, a lot of the ancestors, they was harsh, but they would confront each other, you see. So when people had problems with me saying something to the brother Billy Carson, I didn't say I would beat Billy Carson up. I didn't say I would murder him for misrepresentation or putting out misinformation about the ancestors. I never said anything like that. If I said I would murder somebody and I need to go kill Billy Carson, they can take my videos down. And that's what they should do. I don't promote violence. When I said he need a first class ass whooping, I'm talking about his scholarship. He needs a first class ass whooping for delivering confused and misleading um, research and scholarship. That's what I'm talking about. He can have a spiritual ass whooping. He can have a physical ass whooping of some sort. But if he gets one in the physical world or the spiritual world, I don't have to deliver it to him. Okay. And I didn't promote nobody to go do nothing to him. But in Dr. Clarke's time, see, he's giving you his understanding of Martin Luther King. And this is not, he's not tearing Martin Luther King down. He's saying he was asking for acceptance, saying, I see a white kid and a black kid playing on the red hills of Georgia one day. He was saying he have a dream. He wish. See, I wish that would happen. He didn't look on the grounds of the acceptance. He didn't say, hey, you're going to accept me like this and we're going to be equal. At the time, what Dr. Clarke is saying that Martin Luther King, all he wanted to do was just say, let me in the house. He didn't care what condition, what shape the house was in. He just wanted to be in a house with old massa, which is the European man or the white man, for lack of better terms. Okay. The slave master, the slave pusher, the colonial master and the dominator of the world, a European man or a white looking man, whatever ethnic or race group which is created they might be in. Okay. The same thing with the restaurants. I vow to get in the same restaurant as you because I want a piece of the hamburger that you eat. It's like the American pie. Give me a piece of the American pie. You don't care if they spit in the pie. You don't care if the pie is undercooked. You don't care if it's not to your liking. Oh, it needs a little more cinnamon. It's lacking sugar. Don't have the right amount of apples. You just want a piece of the apple pie. And this was the problem with Dr. Clarke was saying. He should have said, on what grounds I would allow you to accept me if we're going to have this equal thing. See, if you're going to accept me, but I'm not an equal, don't accept me at all. I'll stand here by myself as a whole man than to be accepted by you, and I have to come down to be 50% of a man. Let's talk about it. Because see, the ancestors was able to give scrutiny towards other brothers, scholarship. This was a message, lifelong message that people still around the world consider one of the greatest speeches of all time. But you got Dr. Clarke here criticizing it, giving scrutiny, giving his opinions and thoughts. And in a sense, he's saying what mistakes he believed that Martin Luther King made. But he didn't call him out his name. He didn't say he needed to be dead. He didn't say he should have never made the speech. These are things he's saying would have made the speech stronger and would have made us be in a better position once the doors of acceptance have been opened. On what grounds will we allow that acceptance and them doors to be opened on? If not, don't even open the door. Okay. See, now we're at the point where we're saying we don't want your acceptance. It's too late because integration already took place, and we're sitting here being treated as less than a human being in many aspects. And I know the world is different, and people say, "Oh, don't start this stuff. You get treated the same." It's not. It's a whole lot of different treatments you get. A single traffic ticket for any other race is routine. A single traffic ticket for a person that looks like me, to that person who's going through the traffic stop, in his mind, he deem it as detrimental. He don't know if he'll get out of that traffic stop. That's one thing. Then a job, trying to get a job looking like me with French braids or dreadlocks, whatever these young brothers is wearing today, opposed to a regular guy, Billy, Mark, Matthew, going in there clean cut and getting a job. See, a lot of people don't know why they look like they look today, but that's ancestral lineage. You got dreads, you looking scruffy and rough. They don't know why they doing that, but it's a fad now because it came in. This is the ancestors letting you understand. A lot of people used to look like that. We're African people, okay? We're in the wrong culture container, but yet and still we're African people, and we're displaying our African culture, and we're doing it through symbols of our clothing, the jewelry, the jewelry that these brothers wear. They wear whole luxury homes on their neck. They wear the price that people say, man, the King Tut statues and all that gold was priceless. When you look at a lot of the brothers, people pretty much spend a lot of money and they want to look priceless. When you see them, that's what they're daring to look like that. And if you ask a lot of the brothers, you know about the ancient Africans, your ancestors who wore all that gold and stuff, whether it be Mansa Musa, whether it go be Nubians, whether it be Sudanese, whether it be Ethiopian, anybody, whether it be tribes out in West African, Mali, Congolese. Have you seen these people all dressed up? Some of them might not have gold, they might have silver, copper, some of them might have just beads and shells. A lot of them say, no, I didn't know nothing about that. But they have all this diamonds and gold and jewelry looking like a fortune, yet and still. That's the ancestors, see? So if you knew who you were, you would present a better a better representation of yourself to the world. So I want to thank Dr. Clarke. Like I say, may his soul continue to rest and may his spirit continue to be lifted up to the ancestors. Brilliant man. Take my hat off to him. Again, this is not going to be the last time he appears on the Ancestor Speaks on My Thought Thursdays. Um, Salute Kenny Russell, Kanoom, Consu Moon. You already know what you're going to get when you step in the room. You're now dealing with Kanoom. This is what I do. And I love to do it. And before I take back what I said, I add some more to it. Me coming at Billy Carson, Silly Barson, I just switched his name around, and that wasn't even disrespect. I'm saying he's so X Files. Everything you see is reversed. He reversed everything, but that's his scholarship. The way he was taught, I can't do anything about that. But for me to give criticism, scrutiny, and my thoughts and opinion on his message, it's just from brother to brother. He's my brother. He's older than me, and I love him. I don't respect a lot of the stuff that he's doing, but I respect him as a man. Any man that can provide for him, his wife, and have a luxury life as an African man, do it. But at what cost? This is my problem. This is why I don't chase headlines. This is why I don't chase all this stuff going on in the world. And a person called me a clout chaser. I don't clout chase. I do this for the ancestors, for the people walking around today, so they can know who they were and what they are today. They're just not invoking that spirituality to put forth a representation of the people that we were today. That's why I say stay away from man made religion. Focus on the African spiritual system. That's the best thing for African people. That's what we had. When religion was given to you, spirituality was taken from you. And a lot of the stuff you see me with symbols and all this, these are African spiritual symbols. They make me feel like way more than money. So Billy Carson and everybody else, I'm not just using, I'm just talking. They can have all the private jets in the world, Creflo Dollar, TD Jakes, but none of them is richer than me if they don't know what they have and a sense of spirituality. I'm richer than all, okay? If they built on money, I'm built on something far greater than that. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and I thank you for watching. And remember, education and preparation is the first step to retaliation. So before you pick up a weapon, pick up some knowledge. Yeah, yeah.